Good morning, YouTube. I'm going to do a lesson today on harmonics. Science without spirituality is dead and without soul. Spirituality without science, on the other hand, is fantasy and ungrounded. The universities offer us nothing but dead and soulless theories. The universities are like the emperor without clothes in the famous fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen. The naked truth is that the universities offer us fake science. Okay. A harmonic octave contains 4 quints and 4 quarts, as shown in the figure below. The 4 upper bows represent the quints, while the 4 bows down represent the quarts. Now we can understand why the names quaint and quart are used. A quaint, Latin for fifth, is a harmonic relation between the first and the fifth tone, while a quart, Latin for fourth, is a harmonic relation between the first and the fourth tone. Okay? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. The ratios between the successive tones in a harmonic octave is 2 times standard, meaning 2 to the third, 2 to the second, which is 8 of 9. Then once small, 2 to the 3 to the fifth, 2 to the 8, which is 2, 4, 3, 2, 5, 6. Then 3 times standard, again, 2, 3, and finally once small again. In the length of the sequences of the standard ratios, we therefore see another rhythm based on the universal ratio base. Each harmonic octave, meaning whole or 8, consists of only 8 holy tones, but also of 8 harmonic relations, 4 quints plus 4 quarts. The frequency ratios mentioned above originate from Pythagoras in ancient Greece. Most music currently produced is not based on these harmonic ratios, and neither vibrates the tone A on 432 Hz. That is, however, not the only vital knowledge humanity lost over the ages related to the essence of music, as we will see below. Why do we use the names of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, and si to refer to the holy notes? The table below shows that these notes are abbreviations of Latin words. Each Latin word refers to a level within an array of creation. We find a very accurate scientific description of the ray of creation in the first chapter of the book of the Holy Bible. Holy science shows the true meaning of holy, which is the same as holy. The title of the first chapter of the book of Genesis, which is the first book of Moses, is the creation. The content of the first chapter of the Bible has nothing to do with faith in God. On the contrary, it enables us to understand the true essence of God and the holy work of God, which is creation. We find God as the initiator of the ray of creation, also referred to as the unmoved mover by Aristotle, another holy scientist from ancient Greece. Where are we at here, people? Okay. We also find God on every other level of the ray of creation. To distinguish between these different creating gods, each god has a different name on each level. The abbreviations of these 7 names of God are do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, and si. Check the chart. Do, Dominius, Lord, the Lord, for 0 day. Si, Sidereal, stars, all galaxies. 1. La, Lacita, milk, our Milky Way. 2. Sol, sun, our sun, Helios. 3. Fata, fate, our solar system. 4. Me, microcosmos, Microcosm, our planet, Terra. 5. Ray, Regina, Regent, our moon, Luna, Regent. 6. Do, Dominus, Lord, the Lord. 7. Okay? The ray of creation starts on day 0 with initiation of the Lord God Almighty to create the whole of reality, mostly called the world. This is the tone of Do, Dominus, meaning the Lord. On day 1, God separated the light from the darkness, and this is the separation of the light, Yang, of all the stars, or Sidera in Latin, from the darkness. Yin, of the rest of the universe, or macrocosm. This is the tone of C from Sidera, or all galaxies. See? On day 2, God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters. The waters is a reference to the galaxy. The galaxy we may see in the midst of the firmament is our own galaxy called the Milky Way. This is the tone of La from Las, lactea or lastia, milk, lactate, milk. On the third day, or Milky Way, on the day 3, God said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place. In this level of creation, water refers to light. The gathering of light into one place is reference to our sun, Helios. This is the tone of Sol, meaning the sun. On day 4, God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. These lights in the firmament that enable us to keep track of time are the visible planets of our solar system. The planets play a key role in astrology, which provides us a scientific description of fate. This is the tone of Fa, or Fata, meaning fate. Fata. On day 5, God said, let the waters bring forth swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the firmament of the heavens. Again, the waters that bring forth living creatures refer to light, meaning all cosmic energies that support biological life. The microcosm includes all living creatures on our mother planet called Terra, Gaia, Mother Terra. Next, the birds that fly above the microcosm of Terra across the firmament of the heavens refer to the stars of the macrocosm. This is the tone of Me, as the abbreviation of the Latin word microcosms. On the 6th day, God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them reign over fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over the entire planet, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the planet. This is the tone of Re, or Regna, Regina, Regnant. Humanity's role is the reign or rule over biological life on Terra. At this level of the ray of creation, the moon Luna reigns as a regnant over the waters of Terra. On the 7th day, on day 7, we find again the tone of Do for Dominus, meaning Lord, or to put this differently, the 7th day is the day of the Lord. Okay, 7 days of the week. The names we use to identify the 7 days of the week refer to the 7 heavenly bodies that can be seen with the naked eye from the surface of Terra. The figure below shows the astrological sign of each of these 7 heavenly bodies. Luna, Mercury. This is me right here. Sunday, Monday. Mostly Monday. Sometimes Sunday, but mostly Monday. Venus, Helios, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Sunday. See? The ordering of the seven heavenly bodies is based on the orbiting speed as perceived from the surface of Terra. Please note that the sun, Helios, is not really orbiting Terra, since it is actually the other way around. Also, the full orbit of the moon, Luna, around Terra, called a sidereal cycle, places 27.3 days. The illumination cycle of Luna, called a synodic cycle, lasts 29.5 days. The average length of both is 28.4 days. The table below shows the perceived orbiting time in natural days is rounded numbers. Orbit 28 days, 88, 225, 365, 687, totaling 10,760. In all ancient cultures, these seven visible bodies played an important role. The table below shows the names of the seven heavenly bodies in 5 classical languages together with English. Up here: Moon, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Nana, Inki, Inanna, Utu, Gorgulana, Enlil, Ninurtu. These are the Anunnaki. Okay, Babylonic, Sin, Nabi, Ishtar, Shamash, Nergal, Marduk, Ninutu. Funny how hers stays the same. Greek, Selene, Hermes, Aphrodite, Helios, Ares, Zeus, Kronos. Latin, Luna, Mercurius, Venus, Sol, Mars, Jupiter, Saturnus. Sanskrit, Chandra, Buddha, Sukra, Surya, Mangala, Brihaspati, Sani. The figure to the left shows these seven bodies placed in the same ordering in a circle. Next, 7 lines connect each body with the opposite bodies on the other side of the circle. We find this ordering of the 7-pointed star in days of the week. However, in the current English names of the 7 days of the week, the relation with these heavenly bodies is not very clear anymore. By combining it with the French names, this relation becomes clear, as shown in the table below, in the order of the planets of the week. We also find a perfect alternation of yang and yin. Please note that I consider Mercury to be feminine, yin, based on the feminine cross at the bottom of the astrological sign of Mercury. In the figure with the 7-pointed star, the yin bodies are on the left hand side and the yang bodies on the right hand side. In the middle, we find the sun, Helios, also yang. Well, I don't agree with that. I think Mercury is definitely a male, masculine, but that's just my opinion. Sunday, Dishmay, Helios, Yang. Okay, yin yang, yin yang. All right. On to the 7 levels of creation. There is a remarkable symbol that represents the 7 levels of creation as described in the first chapter of the book of Genesis. The figure below shows this symbol. It is called the Enneagram. Enneagram. Ennea, or Enina. Ennea is Greek for 9. Ennea. Okay. I've been drawing this symbol right here, and some like it my whole life, and I never knew what it meant until now. Amazing. It was Georges Ivanovich Gurdjieff, who brought the knowledge represented in the symbol out in the open, in order to make sure only the true seekers of holy science would discover the knowledge hidden in the Enneagram. Mr. Gurdjieff deliberately altered some details. That is why my explanation, as described below, differs from the ones Petra Domanovich Ospensky gives in his revealing books. Got to read that. The explanation of the mysterious symbol of the enneagram begins with the two small triangles corresponding to the two lower corners of the dotted triangle within the circle. The small triangle points towards upwards, representing a male shock yang, while the small triangle pointing downwards represents a female shock yin. Both shocks are necessary to overcome the vibrational distances between the neighboring holy tones that lack an intermediate semitone. The female yin shock is directed inwards, which means incoming or positive. The Remember that? The female yin is positive. The ingoing female shock occurs between the mi and the fa. The male yang shock, on the other hand, male yang fa, 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 mi fa, mi fa, is directed outwards, which means outgoing or negative. The outgoing male shock starts between the soul and the la, but this effect occurs between si and the do, where this shock is needed to overcome the vibrational distance between si and do. Do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, re. Do for deer, a female deer. Ray, a ray of the sun, or moon, would be moon. Mi, microcosm terra. Fa, fate of the planets. Sol, sun Helios. La, less milk from a Milky Way titty. Si, Sidereal all stars. Do, Dominus the Lord. At the top level, I'm gonna make a CD for those that are interested of that. At the top level of the ray of creation, we find the wholeness or unity of the tone do, meaning Dominus or the Lord. The number one represents this holy unity. In the first chapter of Genesis, this corresponds to day zero of creation. That's cool. So that's what happens before the Big Bang, if you were wondering. Do, kind of depressed, huh? At the level of C, meaning Sidereal, all stars of all galaxies, we find the creation of the division between the stars and the space in between these stars. This is the duality between light, yang, and darkness, yin. The number two represents this duality. In the first chapter of Genesis, this corresponds to day one of creation. Do, re, the light, mi, microcosm, fa, the fate, sol, the sun, la, the Milky Way, si, all the stars, do. That's pretty damn awesome, I must say. That gives me chills. Okay, so here's these are the symbols for male, female, also yin yang, and if you go to the elements, water, fire, earth, and air, light corresponds to electric fire. Here we go. Light corresponds to the electric energy of fire, yang. Okay, this would be fire. And these are the same for earth and air, but they have a line through them. So you would have a line right here for air and a line right here for earth. Okay, and the darkness with the magnetic energy of water, yin. So this is fire and water. Fire and water, yin and yang. So that'd be the what? The moon and the what do we say? The moon and the sun, I guess. Moon and the sun. Fire and water are the names of cosmic energies. That is why the first chapter of Genesis repeatedly mentions both light and water, fire and water. That's awesome. At the level of La, meaning Lactia, Lastia, or the Milky Way, we find the creation of the Trinity. The number 3 represents the Trinity in the first chapter of Genesis. This corresponds to day 2 of creation. The Trinity is shown by the dotted triangle in the circle. The 2 bottom points of the dotted inner triangle correspond to the duality of male and female. The dough at the apex of this triangle represents the union of this duality. Similarly, the sin wave, or psi, symbolized symbolized as unites an upper and lower bow. That's cool. This union of the duality of male and female creates the wholeness. This is the whole making or healing union, also referred to as holy or sacred union. The table below shows some examples of such holy or holy trinities. Mr. Gurdjieff referred to this holy trinity as the law of 3: male female uniting, affirmation, negation, learning, transmitting, receiving, communicating, spirit, soul, body, father, mother, child. Awesome. The holy dough is always an abstract process, just like walking along our way or path is a process. This is also the exact meaning of the Japanese word do that we find at the end of the names of many traditional martial arts. That's cool. Fully practicing these fascinating arts always becomes a way of living, unlike the do at the apex of the inner triangle, which is an abstract process. Both the male and female shock are concrete events required to keep this abstract process going. The essential disparity between the abstract top and the dotted inner triangle and both concrete base joints, meaning the male and the female shock, is unfortunately hardly reflected in several classic descriptions of the Holy Trinity, as shown in the table below. Father, Holy Spirit, Son, Osiris, Isis, Horus, Brahman, Vishnu, Shiva, Buddha, Dharma, Shanga. Wow, that's pretty awesome, man. At the level of Sol, meaning the sun Helios, we find the creation of the hexad, which is a 6-parted unity. The number 6 represents this hexad in the first chapter of Genesis. This corresponds to day 3 of the creation. Okay? The hexad. 369. In the enneagram, the 6 solid straight lines represent the hexad. Oh, okay. The 6 solid lines. Okay. The direction of these lines is reflected in the fractional series of 7. For instance, by dividing 1 by 7, you get the infinite repetition of the ciphers 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, and 7. Because of this remarkable numerical regularity with 7 as the divisor, Mr. Gurdjieff referred to the hexad as the law of 7. Okay? So dividing 1 by 7, you get the infinite repetition of the ciphers. At the level of Sol, the process of creation includes 6 steps. In the enneagram, this creational process is represented by the walking the path of 6 solid straight lines. Okay? So it'd be 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7. 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, and 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 7. 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7. Back to 1. 4, 2, 8, 5, 7, 1. That gives me, that's the crown on the head. Just remember that. The crown on the head. Crown of 4 points. Okay. I already read this. Right. In the enneagram, the creational process is represented by walking the path of the 6 solid straight lines. Each step of this path requires a different activity and point of focus. So 1 through 4, exploring, focus, intention. 4, 2, wanting, motivation. 2, 8, being, competency. 8, 5, knowing, transformation. 5, 7, arranging, organization. 7, 1, releasing, synergy. So this is like alchemy, the transmutation process, I would say. So at the level of fa, meaning fate, fata, of fate, we find the creation of the dozen, which is a 12-parted unity. The number 12 represents this dozen in the first chapter of Genesis. This corresponds to day 4 of the creation. Astrology shows us that fate is written in the stars. To be more precise, astrology shows that fate is caused by the movements of the heavenly bodies through the 12 houses of the zodiac, each represented by a specific constellation of stars. Check it. Where am I at? I'm Cancer, number 4, the crab, water. See, I told y'all, I'm water moon, moon water. It's me. Let's see. My wife is, okay. That explains a lot. Yeah, I would go with that too. The table above shows these constellations of the zodiac in general. Each constellation is known by its original Latin name. In the cases of Scorpio and Capricorn, the original name has been slightly modified by removing the us at the end and adding an o or nothing next to both cosmic energies mentioned before, fire and water. The table above shows 2 more cosmic energies, earth and air. Within the 12 constellations, we find a quartet of trinities, one for each type of cosmic energy. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Wouldn't call that coincidence. Within the enneagram, there are a dozen crossings of starlight, solid lines with the dotted lines of the inner triangle on each crossing. A main question reflects this crossing of the activity of the line with the essence of the nearby corner of the triangle. So, exploring 1, what do I have in mind? Exploring, how does it affect me? Wanting, do I really want this? Wanting, is my will strong enough? Being, do I get the most out of myself? Being, do I stay loyal to my core values? That's awesome. Knowing, number 7, what does my inner knowing say? Knowing, what do I want to learn? Arranging, what do I contribute to the whole? Arranging, 10, do I accept my responsibility? Releasing, 11, can I transcend myself? Releasing, 12, which longing is arising? Those are awesome questions. If somebody could walk the path and ask these questions of themselves every day, or every turn of the corner, you would find so much out about yourself and become so much stronger and wiser a person. This is awesome stuff right here. At the level of me, meaning microcosm, we find the creation of a 24-parted unity in the first chapter of Genesis. This corresponds to day 5 of creation. Unfortunately, we have no single word to refer to this wholeness of 24, which is a double dozen of quartet of hexads or octave of trinities. However, we do find 24 hours within a period of a natural day. This means that a natural day, it's an example 24 parted unity in which the parts are the hours. Awesome. So each hour of the day, you can contribute to one of these things. At the level of the microcosm, each of the 12 constellations has both a positive yin face and a negative yang face. The table below shows these 24 faces of the microcosm. Each of these 24 faces is present within every human. That's awesome. Each of the 24 faces is present within every human. Based on the moment of birth, the duality of two of these 24 faces dominates human consciousness at this level, as shown in the table below. Pythagoras said that normal man is 2 octaves below God. Now we can see what he meant. God, meaning soul or Helios, is at 6, while man is at 24, me, which is indeed 2 octaves lower than 6. Damn, Pythagoras, where you get them brains at, cuz? Here we go. Aries, I am not. Cancer, this is me. I feel not. Well, that's definitely me. I'm all about them feelings. At the level of Ray, meaning Regina or regnant, we find the creation of a 48-parted unity. In the first chapter of Genesis, this corresponds to day 6 of the creation. Again, we have no single word to refer to this wholeness of 48, which is the quartet of dozens, the octave of hexads, or 16 trinities. We find a close example of the 48-parted unity in the human genome, which consists of pairs of chromosomes. In total, there are 24 different human chromosomes. However, 2 of these chromosomes are gender chromosomes, and they are not doubled into a pair in each human's genome. A level of me from microcosm, ruled by Mother Terra, is the base level for human existence. At the level of Ray or Regina, ruled by regnant Luna, human existence has dropped below the base level. We can refer to humans at this sub-base level of existence as humatic or lunatics. Lunatics. The sub-base level of existence is a lunatic. A lunatic is inerrantly off balance. By remaining inerrantly off balance for a longer period, diseases start to surface. The table below shows the body locations of these diseases based on the moment of birth. The relation is based on 3 decanots or decans for short per zodiac sign. A decan is the division of the full period of a zodiac sign of 30 degrees of arc into 3 equally long periods of each 10 degrees of arc. Roughly, we can say that people who were born on the day numbers of 21 and higher belong to the first decan. The second decan corresponds to the day numbers from 1 to 10. The remaining day numbers 11 up to 20 belong to the third decan. The table below shows the corresponding diseases for each decan per zodiac sign. So, Cancer, chest, skin, body fat, touch. Well, that's it. We got heart attacks, skin ailments. Both my daughters have, shoot, what is that? Skin disease where you get a rash. I'll think of it in a second. Oh man, body fat. Yep. touch. Touch. I don't know what touch would be. Maybe losing like sense of some kind. I'm still stuck on the skin disease or disorder. Eczema. That's it. Eczema. All my kids and me have eczema. So yeah, that pretty much nails on the line there. Um, Meaning, constellation. Um, where are we at here? I don't even see it. Constellation. Here we go. Draco, Hydra. We gotta move on. I tell you what, I'm gonna stop this video right here, and I'm gonna pick up in a following video so I can keep them a little bit shorter each one. But we will pick up on the next video right here at the diseases. I hope y'all are enjoying this. This is some awesome information. And, everything that first in Genesis, it was the Word. The Word is the sound, the frequency of voice spoken, um, making creation manifest. This is what this is really getting to is the actual do re. These are frequencies of creation. So next time.